good night, wherever you may be in the world. Man, let me show y'all something real interesting. You know, Trump is fighting for presidential immunity, and they're not going to grant Trump presidential immunity and it not apply to Biden. And let me read this to you. Listen to this. Um, Hold on. I wanna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all something. Um, Listen. A sitting president of the United States enjoys absolute immunity from many lawsuits while in office. Presidential immunity covers actions relating to the official duties of the president, including those in the outer perimeter of those duties. Okay? Now, what's stopping Biden, if Trump wins presidential immunity, from calling off the election? Because that's in his official duties. He can call off the elections. What you gonna do to him? And I don't know if y'all paid attention to this, but Kamala Harris agrees with interviewer that 2024 could be the last U.S. Democratic election. If something happens to Biden, who becomes president? Kamala Harris. If Trump wins presidential immunity, she now has presidential immunity. And she's 59 years old. Kamala Harris is 59 years old. And if you give her presidential immunity, what you think gonna happen? Think about that for a minute. See, this is why you shouldn't make decisions out of vindictiveness, out of anger, out of bitterness. This is why you shouldn't be trying to pursue things in that state of mind. Because as my grandmama say, you dig one hole, you might as well dig two. Because the hole you digging for somebody else is the hole that's going to be for you. Okay? And seeing he's trying to dig a hole for somebody else, and it's for him. Because what's stopping Biden? What you going to do to Biden? He got presidential immunity. He can call the election off. What you going to do? And if something happened to her, because because all presidents have presidential immunity, the office of the president is going to fall on Kamala Harris. And she got presidential immunity and 59 years old. See, a lot of y'all haven't even thought this thing through because you're thinking about vindictiveness and bitterness and anger. And this presidential, Tanya, good morning, how you doing? And saying this could be the very thing. Listen, I didn't make this up. Vice President Kamala Harris this week agreed with an interviewer who said the 2024 election could be the last Democratic election in the United States. Harris was discussing former President Trump's comments about being a dictator only on day one of a second term. Okay? What's going on, JD? No, the blacks ain't done nothing. See, that's matter of fact, let me get you up out of here. Let me get you up out of here. I don't know who you are, but you get up out of here. Get up out of here. We're trying to have a serious discussion. All right? Presidential immunity will not only apply to Trump, but it will apply to all presidents. They will have immunity. What's stopping Biden with presidential immunity from calling off the election? And if something happened to him, Kamala Harris will automatically become president of the United States, and she will enjoy presidential immunity. There's nothing, and she is 59 years old. See, y'all looking at Biden and you ain't paying attention. He got a 59-year-old sitting behind him. Okay? So be careful what you ask for. And a lot of people ain't thinking this through because they're looking at the vindictiveness and the anger and the bitterness and focus on the past. They ain't paying attention to what could happen. And right now, if he wins next Thursday, they're going to be at the Supreme Court. If Trump wins presidential immunity, he's a former president. The current president now is going to inherit presidential immunity. All right? That will apply to everybody, not just Trump. And see, and that's why y'all making the mistake. You're thinking it's only going to apply to Trump. It's going to apply to everybody. And right now, Biden can call off the election, and ain't nothing you're going to be able to do to him. Not one thing will you be able to, because he got presidential immunity. Listen to what it says. A sitting president of the United States enjoys absolute immunity from many lawsuits while in office. Presidential immunity covers actions relating to the official duties of the president, including those in the outer perimeter of those duties. And he can make up something to call off this election because this is in my official duties. We're going to war. And we're going to call off the election because they're already poking at Iran. See, don't be surprised if that thing spread. And that's going to be the reason to call off this election. And what you going to do? What can you do about nothing? Because they gave Trump presidential immunity. And it applies to the current president of the United States of America. It's going to apply to him as well. What's going on, Luna? It's going to apply to the current president as well. He's going to have presidential immunity. Y'all better look at this thing, man, because it ain't nothing to play with. And just stop thinking this only going to apply to Trump. This applies to everybody. And if you give Biden presidential immunity, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. There might not ever be another election for a long time in the United States of America because he got a 59-year-old sitting behind him that everybody ain't impressed with. And she can become president of the United States. Listen, and see, and here's the thing. This is what. No. See, that's the trick, man. That's the trick. You talking about he ain't going, man, if you think they're gonna give Trump presidential immunity and it don't apply to Biden? And he's president, you think he ain't gonna enjoy the same privileges that Trump is now fighting for? He's going to get the same thing. Biden is going to inherit that as well. If Trump, who's out of office, wins presidential immunity, you think that the president that's sitting there, he's going to have presidential immunity. And you looking at talking about he ain't going to, man, they could call off these elections What you gonna do? Nothing. Because Biden has presidential immunity. Because they gave it to Trump. Okay? All right? And see, and if something happens to Biden, Kamala Harris gonna step right in. She's now president. What is she gonna enjoy? Presidential immunity. If she gets in office in the president, she will now enjoy presidential immunity. And she got you being scared of Trump. But be careful. When somebody trying to make you scared of somebody else, you better be watching them. See, and she didn't know, listen, Kamala Harris agrees with interviewer that the 2024 election could be the last U.S. Democratic election. And it could be the one that might not ever happen if the president get total immunity. This election won't happen. Because now he ain't got to leave the White House. What you going to do to him? What you going to do? Okay? Immunity is going to give them absolute control. Presidential immunity means as long as it's in the official duties, that you can fit your decision into your official duties of the White House, ain't nothing they can do to you. Nothing. And if you go to war, that's in your official duties. Matter of fact, let's look at the War Powers Act. Let me do that and then I got to get out of here. War Powers Act. The War Powers Act declares that it is the purpose of this act to fulfill the intent of the framers of the Constitution of the United States and ensure that the collective judgment of both the Congress and President will apply to the introduction of the armed forces of the United States in the hostilities. Okay? The War Powers Act of 1941 and 1942 granted President Franklin D. Roosevelt extensive powers to support the war effort and provide for the nation's defense. Now, we already done helped Israel. What's to say Iran won't attack us? And we go to war. And now because we are in a war conflict, they can call off the election because they got presidential immunity. And ain't nothing you can do about it. There's not one thing you can do about it because the president is enjoying presidential immunity. And now, this old frail president that they have as the face, something gonna happen to him, and who's gonna step into his shoes? Kamala Harris. She's 59 years old. She's 59 years old and will have presidential immunity. And y'all wouldn't be very happy. Y'all better think about that. Stop making decisions out of bitterness and anger and vindictiveness. Because when you do make those decisions, they're going to always come back to bite you. Because you ain't thinking it through. And somebody haven't thought this presidential immunity through that Trump is fighting for. Because he can't, it's just not going to apply to him. It's going to apply to everybody. And I think that's the part most folk are missing. Presidential immunity is going to apply to everybody. And you got a sitting president right now. that will be able to take advantage of presidential immunity, because he can make some decisions and ain't nothing you can do about it. Because Trump was the one that went and got total presidential immunity to cover his actions. And in return, he's given a gift to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Because if something happened to him, she's the president. Because she's the vice president. And she will have total presidential immunity. And we might not, it'll be a long time before we have another election again. Okay? Think this thing through, man. Get out of your anger and your vindictiveness and look at what they're doing. This is why they got us divided, so that we can't have conversations like this. This is why they got us scared of each other, so we can't have conversations just like this. And y'all can't even see that. That's the sad part. Y'all can't even see it. All right? See you later.